Okay, I'll tell you that answer in just a second, Kelly. We're having a conversation, but first we're going to talk about the trivia question. In Magazine is coming up just after this, and we're going to see if Ryan Painter, who is our movie reviewer guy, can get this right. On April 2nd, 1968, which Stanley Kubrick film premiered in Washington, D.C.? Is it Eyes Wide Shut, 2001, A Space Odyssey, The Shining, or The Strange Love? Ryan, what did you think?
Well, it's definitely between Dr. Strangelove and 2001. We're going to go 2001.
Okay, life or death, you got to pick
2001.
one. You're so right, Ryan. Did somebody give you that answer?
Maybe.
Huh? I'm going to cut you a break and say that you're smart because you know your stuff about movies, but congratulations to Bo Pingree, who also knew the answer. Bo, you'll have a fun time tonight at defending the caveman up at the Egyptian Theater. And right now, though, we got to talk to In Magazine because they're here. They're telling us what's going on. There's always a lot going on. And this issue, it's funny I'm doing this interview and not Chris because it says how to spend frugally, basically. You guys are going to help us learn how to spend frugally.
It is funny that Chris isn't
there you go.
here because I think we got a little bit of the idea from him. He was asking when we did our dining issue. He's like, well, where can you eat for cheap?
It's a good thing, and I need to know it. I mean, you know, everybody's living on a budget. It's hard. I mean, I don't have a lot of money. I need to, you know, live cheap. So tell me, what are some of the suggestions you're making if you're not made of money like myself?
Well, we divided it up into several sections. We have dates on a dime, which are things you can go out and do. And that includes things like the cheap movie nights at Broovies. There's poetry readings, slam poetry at Baxter's Cafe every Saturday. And that's free. They like you to buy coffee, of course. But Mestizo also has them. There's always book readings at King's English. So there's lots of things you can do for free. Then we have a section called Party on a Penny, which are bars that have drink specials. Piper Down's one of the good ones. They have
when you say cheap drinks, I mean, how cheap are we talking?
On Sundays, they have $1 mimosas and a free Bloody Mary bar. So
free?
Yeah. It's pretty hard to beat.
Like free, there's another free word we're throwing in for you.
Free's always good.
You know, I mean, I think people get the wrong idea when you're trying to take somebody on a date, whether it's a first date or, you know, your 10th date or whatever. You don't have to go extravagant. The girl's not going to, you know, if you don't take her to some fancy dinner, at least in my opinion, you know, I'd like to think that most girls are going to be okay with it. You know, they're going to be like, why not? He's thinking out of the box. We're living on a budget. We had a lot of fun. You go to Broovies, it's a lot of fun. You can go hear poetry. It's something different. When you're almost doing things cheap, you have to think a little bit outside of the box and do something you wouldn't normally do, as opposed to the dinner movie night, you know?
Well, I think it's a lot less awkward as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think,
yeah,
you know, the
that's
sort
true.
Of thing when you're on a date and a guy is just spending all this money on you, and you feel like you're obligated to feel a certain way about the person.
And maybe have very proper manners if you're in a very fancy restaurant.
Exactly.
I think most people of quality appreciate creativity over bucks.
Absolutely.
So. Although,
Absolutely.
you know, occasionally you do need to go out and have a good time in a more fashionable sense. But, you know, I think in general, you know, every date does not need to be the prom date. Sort
not
of
at all. And it gets awkward if it's always the prom. You feel like you always have to be living up to this expectation, and you just want to have fun, you know? Cheap date nights, you know, watch a movie at your house, those kind of things. I mean, a lot of things that you can do that can be more fun than just the typical date nights. But you guys do have a lot of good things in here. If you're not made of money, which I'm sure a lot of us, you know, the economy in general, I mean, it seems like there's something every day we're talking about. This is going on. This is, you know, we're struggling in this area. Things that we would never think would go out of business are going out of business. Yeah. And so it's a good way, I think it's a great issue for you guys to do. Pertinent time.
Yep. And for other things for when you're on a date, we also talked about beauty on a budget, things like getting a haircut at a beauty school. You know,
That's
sometimes
good,
they're almost as trained as, you know, somebody that is a full-time person who works in a salon, and you can get it for half the price. And clothes. We have a section called the Frugal Fashionista.
Okay, see, I need to like mark this section.
Yeah, we're thinking this is like a clip and save. There's just so many resources and names of businesses in here. So
and there's
really
a lot of businesses that are slashing their prices for people to come in and get the cheaper beauty tips, which is awesome.
Well, and I mean, a lot of businesses, you know, are in trouble, and a lot of people think, I don't have any money to spend, but they have these special deals and that sort of thing. Go out and help other people and have a good time.
Well, it's the Not Made of Money issue of In Magazine. I want to say In This Week just because of your website, In This Week.
InThisWeek.com.
I'm going to InThisWeek.com if you want to go on there. Really fast, we got to wrap things up. But tell me quickly, Chris saw The Knowing last night. What did you think of it?
I thought it was pretty horrible.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna have to talk with Chris still about this because he said it was pretty intense and
It is intense.
Kinda liked it.
And it just has so many. It had a bunch of screenwriters working on it, so it's a little out of sorts. But if you're looking for a movie right now, go see Adventureland.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really good.
So that's a good one to go see. Ryan's our movie guy. He tells us all the time what's good movies to see. There's the inthisweek.com if you want to check it out on the website or pick up a copy of the magazine. A lot of different places, kind of all over the place. You can't miss them. Bright red, green, all sorts of different colored boxes you can't miss on the street that you can pick up a
We like
copy
to put
of
the
this.
color
And
in your
it's-
life.
You what?
We like to put the color in your
You
life.
do, and we're going to put some green color in your pockets because you're going to be saving lots of money with this issue. That was
good.
pretty good, huh? Yeah. Yeah, I'm good. All right. Well, you guys, thanks again for coming up.
Thanks, Jen.
We'll see you guys again next week with another good issue. Stick around. There's more to come on the Mount Morning Show just after this.